Today we're at the Cereza Passive House and it's concrete pour day. We're talking why the best laid plans don't always come to fruition. Let's take it away. Today we're sitting here in front of a pump for concrete that's not pumping concrete. We still have some concrete left to pour, and the guys in the pit are waiting for the concrete to arrive, and the truck isn't here. So Brett, this isn't the first delay we've had on this project. In fact, we were 3 weeks ahead until we had a little issue with different inspectors having different opinions about what we could do and couldn't do in this project. Tell me a little bit about what happened here.
So we have an ejector pump down here that takes the sewage from the house, pumps it out into the sewer and into the street. The ejector pump was planned, but not specifically planned for the walls that are in the basement. So we had to put it in a spot where an inspector looked at it and said, that's where it should go and that's how it should go. The next inspector out said, no, we need you to revise your drawings, submit it to the city, and it has to go through that whole process over again. Once it went to the city, they have 6 days for them to look at it, determine whether it's okay or not, put their stamp on it and say, go ahead. That didn't happen exactly like they wanted.
Well, we got it in 6 days, but then they wanted changes that the structural engineer had to make. And so we had to resubmit it. And we turned it around in a day and got it back into the city. And then what happened?
So it got back into the city looked at it. They didn't move it from there. The person who was in charge of it from there went on vacation for a week. He got back from vacation, he hasn't looked at it yet. So we've had a 4-week delay just because of the placement of the ejector pump.
So we had a plan that was approved by the structural engineer, the architect, Earthbound Homes, the concrete supplier, every inspector that had been to the job so far, the structural engineer doing a site inspection of that project, and then one inspector said, no, we can't do that, and we have to revise the entire drawing set, which required the structural engineer and the architect to submit a new plan to the city, which then resulted in essentially 4 weeks of delays where this project, we really couldn't do anything at that point, right?
Right.
And we still don't have approval for that.
No.
So how do we get around not having approval for this?
So we had our engineer stamp a drawing that says it's okay for you to put a cold joint in this. This is how you got to prepare for it. We've done that. The inspectors looked at it and said, okay, this is appropriate. It still has to be signed off by the city, but you can go ahead and pour. If there's any revisions from the city, you're gonna have to take that up later with the city.
So again, like the concrete pour, which we still don't have concrete. The concrete pour is just another example of how this job is so dependent on individual personalities all throughout the process, from inspectors to city building officials to, vacations for different people. And adapting is part of why having a really tried and true team is a way that we can get through some of that. So we don't have approval yet, we're pouring the concrete slab because we figured out a way around the roadblock that the city has placed. Even though the city has made multiple claims about how long this is supposed to take, it's about getting around those and about making sure that we understand collectively as a group how to get past these problems.
And I think you really hit on the thing that solves those kind of problems. An experienced team that works together who can give each other suggestions when you come to something that stops things, that have experienced that before and can give a decision or a example of how they've got past that in the past.
So if you're interested in learning more about building science mishaps or about the Cereza Passive House, please hit subscribe as we show you how to build a better way.